Let's start. All right, we're going to start. You can stay there, Phyllis. I know, unlike me, I'm going to actually start on the floor today. So we're going to go ahead and just start on the floor. Let's go ahead and put ourselves all the way to the mat. We're going to keep those legs bent. So we're going to roll ourselves all the way down. And just bring our feet nice and comfortable position. So we're just warming up here. So we're going to keep those arms down alongside us. And all we're going to do is kind of round those shoulders up towards the ceiling. And then I want you to think of pushing them back towards the mat. Right? So just a little kind of shoulder protraction as we round those shoulders up and then retract them back to the mat. So let's see if we can keep the ribs flat and closed. Keep a little pressure on the back of the pelvis. And let's lift the shoulder. And then let's do one more time, up and down. And then we're just going to let those shoulders widen. That collarbone is going to widen. We're going to feel the shoulders just relax in that open position. I like to have my palms up for this. And we're just going to warm up the spine. So let's pull the belly in towards that low back, tipping our pelvis back. And then go ahead and just pick up the pelvis just a little. We're not going into that full bridge. Then we're just going to roll it back down one vertebra at a time. And we're just going to try to get some nice movement. Again, just warming up. And pull the belly in towards the spine, flatten through that low back. Let's go ahead and just pick the pelvis up and roll it back down. Just small little rolls here through the spine. Up and down. And let's just do two more. And roll it up. And roll it down one more time. And roll it up. And roll it all the way down. And let's go ahead and straighten those legs out. And lift those arms all the way to the ceiling. So we're just going to do a little roll up here. We're going to continue to roll up and down, but we're going to keep our scoop as much as we can. So as we begin to roll up, take that chin to your chest and look at your feet with your eyes, right? From here, you're going to start to pull that belly in, almost like you're imprinting. And you're going to feel yourself off of the mat. Keep your scoop as you reach towards those feet. Now, keep your scoop, don't stack yet. Lead with your low belly, pull it back, and start to roll down, still reaching forward with those arms. All the way down to the mat. Arms come up, and let's do that again. And chin comes up. Look at the feet first. Pull the belly in. Curl up. Keep your curl as you reach towards those feet. Reaching like you're trying to reach past those feet. Keep your scoop. Pull that belly button into the spine and roll it down. And two more times. And look at your feet. Curl up. Reach towards those feet. Keep your curl. Pull the belly button back and curl down. On the last one, we're going to actually stay up. And look at those feet. And curl up. Reach forward, let your hands come to your ankles and just let yourself relax in this position a little bit. Stretching out that back a little bit more. And then we're going to come all the way to seated. So we're going to be sitting in this nice seated position as tall as you can. And I'll go ahead and turn this direction. Yeah, so now I can see everything. Well, kind of. You can imagine that I'm looking at you. How's that? All right. So from here, we're now going to do kind of that same kind of curl, but instead of curling all the way back down to the floor, we're going to just stack ourselves right back up onto our spine. So we're going to bring those arms out in front. We're going to start with just, again, that shoulder protraction and retraction. So we're going to stay really tall here. We're going to reach like we're reaching our arms towards our feet without leaning forward. So our shoulders kind of reach out of those shoulder sockets. It's kind of what it feels like. Now think of widening your collarbone as you press the shoulders behind you. Feeling maybe some of that upper back connect. And reach forward, rounding those shoulders forward, reaching towards those feet, and then pull those shoulders and really try to pull them back. Try to make that collarbone as super wide as you can, like linebacker shoulders, right? Pulling those shoulders back, giving that really square kind of look to the shoulders, and then round them forward. And 3. Stay nice and tall. You should feel those sit bones underneath you. 2. And 1 more. Now reach them forward. Hold them forward. You're going to scoop your belly by pulling the belly button into the spine, but you're going to round forward as you do that. Reaching those hands again, right out past those feet. And now as you pull back, start at your low belly, you're going to stack your vertebra up so that you're in that seated position. And when you come all the way, your head comes up last, shoulders drop down. We're going to do that again. So start by reaching those hands forward. Scoop the belly back as you round the chest and forward motion, reaching those hands forward. And then pull that belly back as you stack all the way up, dropping the shoulders as you come up. You want your head to come on top of your spine at the very last point. Scoop the belly back, round forward, and scoop and stack, shoulders down. 1 more time. Scoop the belly, round it forward, and pull it back, and stack it up. Bring those hands down, and just roll out those shoulders for a moment. We're going to add on. So all we're going to do here is we're just going to add a little rotation to the movement. So we're going to place those hands again back out in front. And from here, all I'm going to do, keeping my sit bones down and under me, I'm going to open one arm out as I look towards that hand and twist with that waist. When I get to this, I should still feel that my pelvis is down. And then I'm just going to come back and do that on the other side. Big twist through the waist, back and open. Back and open. And you really want to try to open the chest here. So as the hand reaches behind you, open the chest with that arm and back and open. Open that chest and reach. Let's do 1 more on each side and open. And last one. And back to center and relax. We're going to open those legs out to our nice big feet. We're going to go into that little saw position. So now we're going to combine those 2 movements. We're going to do the saw a little slower and a little more, different than how we normally do it. So we're going to bring those arms up. I'm going to take my left arm. I'm going to take it behind me as I twist towards my left foot. Right? Now I'm going to reach towards that toe and hold. And I'm going to keep pressing my opposite hip behind me. From this position, I'm going to take my arm that's behind me. I'm going to bring it towards that foot. And I'm going to stretch towards that foot a little bit more. And now I'm going to stack my vertebra up. So I'm going to pull my low belly back. I'm going to stack myself up. I'm still facing that foot, shoulders down. And then I'm going to come back to center. All right? So let's do that on the right. I'm going to open my right arm as I twist. I'm going to reach towards that right foot with my left arm. I'm going to hold. Now I'm going to bring my right arm to the right foot, looking towards that right foot. I'm going to scoop my belly up and stack my vertebra. And then I'm going to come back to center. Let's do that on the other side. Open to the left. Reach towards that left foot. Take that arm, other arm behind you, bring it to the left foot, look at the toes. Scoop that belly, round and stack yourself up. Shoulders down, back to center. 1 more on the other side. And open. And reach. And arm comes forward. And stack it up. And come back to center. And bring those hands down towards those knees and just roll those shoulders out. Roll it all out. Get it all like relaxed. All right, so we're going to curl down again, kind of back into our original position. So let's go ahead and bring those feet down to that mat. you can kind of start by reaching behind those legs. You're going to pull that low belly, scoop it out. Feel the pelvis tuck under you as you round yourself all the way back and down. And come to that rested position. The first part of this, we're just going to do with keeping one leg bent. So I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to reach it up to the ceiling. And from here, I'm just going to start with a stretch. So I'm going to curl my body up and I'm going to grab behind my leg. I'm just going to let that leg kind of stretch forward. I'm going to feel that stretch through the back of the leg. And grab wherever you're comfortable. Try not to grab right behind the knee, calf, or back of the leg, the hamstring area. Either way is fine. So you're going to look at your foot. We're just going to do some point and flex. So we're going to flex and then point and flex and point. Flex, point, flex, point, down. Let's do a couple more. Okay, from here, go ahead and lower yourself down, but keep your leg reaching to the ceiling. We're going to take the opposite leg and we're going to straighten it out onto the floor. We're just going to do some ankle circles. So you want to take the leg that's on the floor and kind of press it down a little bit. So you want that nice connection to the floor with that opposite leg. Let's switch the direction of the ankle circle. You want to try to keep this leg straight. It doesn't matter if it's all the way up to the ceiling. You can have it slightly down, but you just want to make sure that, I don't remember which way I was starting my ankle. Okay, let's hold here. So from here, keeping our pelvis stable, opposite leg is on the floor. We're just going to do little leg circles. And you want to try to keep the pelvis down and stable. Try to keep from poking your chin to the ceiling. Let's do 2. And 1. Let's reverse that circle. Keep that leg nice and straight. Don't worry about making this movement super big. Let's do 2 more. And 1. And bring that leg all the way to the floor. You can keep that leg bent to start. We're going to take that other leg to the ceiling. So from here, we're going to start with that curl up. We're going to grab behind the leg, kind of stretch it forward. With that nice stretch through the back of the leg. All right, hold where you're comfortable. Let's start with that point and flex. So flexion here and point. Flexion and just feel that nice stretch, especially on that flexion, coming into the back of the leg. Just do a few more. And hold here. So as we roll ourselves back down to the mat, we're going to go ahead and take that opposite leg and step out. All right, and from here, we're going to go ahead and go into our ankle circles. So keep that leg that's on the floor. Try to keep that leg kind of gently pressing down. Snap, crackle, pop, and reverse it. Always feels good. Oh, that's your hip flexor. Lower the leg a little bit. There you go. And from here, hold. And we're just going to do those little leg circles. So you want to keep that pelvis nice and stable here. You can feel free to also use those arms. Pull those shoulders open. Pull those shoulder blades down your back. And let's reverse that circle. And last one, and bring that leg all the way down to the mat. All right, so on this next one, and if you are feeling big time hip flexor and that's too painful for you, we're going to do this next one to begin with in a tabletop, and then we'll add in length of the leg, but that'll be optional. So hands by your side, we're going to bring our right leg to tabletop, and we're just going to kind of practice this movement for a bit. So we're going to allow this right leg, this knee, to reach towards the left, lifting off of our right hip. But as we do this, my hip is lifted, but my shoulders are still anchored to the floor. So from here, pull the belly in, and bring it back. Let's do that on the other side. Reach that leg down. Pull that other leg up. Let's go ahead and twist it over, lifting off the opposite hip. Pull the belly in as we come back and switch. Let's just do this a few times on each side. Twist. Think about that open collarbone. As we twist, keep those shoulders pinned back onto the mat. Now let's do one more on each side. And up. And down, last one. And up and down and pause. So you can continue to do this in tabletops. We're going to lift that leg up. We're going to go into a circle. So we're going to give that body a little twist, lifting off that right hip. And then we're going to circle that leg around, bringing it to the front and back up. Let's do that again. Twist over, circle, and center. Twist over, circle, and center. If you want to continue with the leg bent, that's fine. Otherwise, to add on, we're going to add that leg to a lift. We're going to twist it over. Circle that leg around, bring it to the outside as we circle it back up and over. Much harder to keep your shoulders pinned down, which is what I have difficulty with. Let's do two more. And bring it up and lower that leg down. Let's do that on the other side. Let's bring it up. So we're going to start with the bent knee position, tabletop. We'll start with the circle from here. We're going to go ahead and twist. And then we're going to circle that knee around, bring it to that outside and lift it up. And again, over. Twist, back, knee out and lift. Over. Circle, hold. So again, you can stay in that tabletop position. Otherwise, we're going to go to that straight leg. We're going to go ahead and bring that leg over, lifting off that opposite hip, circle it around, take it to the outside, and bring it up. Twist and lift. Two more. And all the way up. And let's hug those knees into chest. And just give yourself a nice stretch. So from here, in this position, we're just going to go ahead. We're going to go right into some abdominal work. So we're going to take our right leg, go ahead and reach it out. You're going to curl up with your upper body. And if that bothers you, you can actually take one hand behind the head or support. Okay? It just means you're going to have to switch it, or you can keep your head down. So from here, I've got both my hands on my other leg. I'm looking at my foot that's reaching out, and I'm just going to switch my legs. And I'm going to switch again. And switch. And switch. Switch. And just that nice back and forth. Maybe curl up just a little bit higher. Chin is connected towards our chest. Let's do one more on each side. Make yourself even. Then bring both feet back in. Go ahead and curl down for a moment and give yourself a little hug into chest, stretching that low back a little bit. So we're going to take this to a double leg extension. Double leg extension is always cued with a curl up. So just watch your neck, do what you need to do. If you need to keep your hands behind the head, keep the hands behind the head. So we're going to lift and curl our upper body. So our eyes now are coming towards our knees as our knees come in towards our face. We're going to keep our curl. We're going to send both legs out to extension, lifting the arms up. Now, as the legs come in, circle those arms around and hug them back into chest. And again, out, circle, and and out and circle. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Hug those knees and curl down. Hold here. We're going to go back to the straight leg. So from here, I'm going to lift my right leg to the ceiling as my left leg reaches out. I'm going to curl up. So from this position, same thing, switching my legs, but keeping my curl. And give it a little pull, right? So pull the leg in. Get that nice little stretch. And 2, 1. Both knees bend, curl down. We're going to take those hands now behind the head. So now you're going to support your head. We're going to curl back up again. We're going to lift those legs to the ceiling. And from here, as I lower my right leg down, I'm going to twist to my left. And then as I switch, twist to the other direction. So still doing our little leg switch, adding that rotation. Three, 2, 1, and lower. Good job. Take those legs all the way out. Arms above the head, stretch out that belly. So get that nice length in that belly. All right, we're going to do some curls. So arms are going to come back to the ceiling, and we're going to curl back up again. So just as we were doing in the beginning of class, chin comes to chest, look at your feet, and curl up. Oh, it's amazing how much harder that is. Since we worked our abdominals. Reach forward, give yourself a stretch. That was just me. No, not just you, me too. All right, stack up to your straight spine. Shoulders down, let's curl back. So pull the belly in first, tuck that tail under, and curl back. And up. Circle the arms around, chin to chest, look at your feet, and curl up. Reach forward, hands can come down, just that little stretch. Come back up to your stacked spine, shoulders down, grow tall, and pull that belly in, tuck that tail under. And bring those arms now behind the head, keeping those legs nice and straight. From here, we're going to go ahead and keep the legs pressing slightly down to the floor. And we're just going to do those little upper body curl ups. I would like you to try to keep neutral pelvis. So that means we're not pulling the belly in. We're keeping our natural position of our spine. You should feel heaviness to the tailbone. And as we exhale, you're just going to lift your upper body till those eyes come towards this. You want to try to flatten your belly here. Inhale, curl back down. It's not a very big lift. Exhale. And inhale. As you lift, you should feel the low belly pulling out like it's flattening, not pushing up to the ceiling. If you see it bulge upward, you're not pulling it out. One more. And come in. We're going to come to our nice legs at bent position. And we're going to then lift those legs into our tabletop. Again, we're keeping our neutral. If you want to lift here, you can. I'm going to go ahead and lift. That's optional. So you can lift your upper body, but you don't have to. We're just going to go into that little march. So we're going to lower one leg down and lift it up. Keep that chest lifted towards those knees. And you should still feel the belly pulling back as you lower the leg down. You shouldn't feel your back arching. All right, we're gonna come back up to tabletop. You're gonna curl up, pull those knees into chest. You're gonna curl down as you lower the feet towards the floor. As you exhale, pull those legs back up and lift. Down and lift. And lower and lift. Try to keep the elbows open as you're lifting. 2 more. Last one. And lower down and rest. We are just going to turn onto our side. So as we come onto side, we're going to come onto our elbow. And we're going to start here with my knees are stacked, but my top foot is kind of lying gently in front of the back foot, right? My other hand is on the hip. So the first thing I'm going to do is press through that arm as I lift my chest, almost like I'm lifting my body away from the floor. And then I'm going to take just my hips and I'm going to press them up to the ceiling. And as I do, I kind of push forward slightly with my pelvis. So I'm in this nice straight line position. And then I sit back, lowering my pelvis back to the mat. Let's do that a couple more times. Lift, keeping lifted out of the arm as we lift the pelvis up and up and down. One more. And up and down. So I want you to notice that just doing that is work. So if we go on to this next one, it becomes a little bit more challenging for you. You know, just continue to do that, right? So I'm going to just kind of lengthen my feet out a little bit so that I have room here, because I'm going to come up all the way onto my feet this time. And this time I'm going to take my arm instead of my hip. I'm just going to reach it out. So this time as I lift my hips, I'm going to go to that straight leg. I'm going to reach my arm up and over as I press my hips to the ceiling. And then I'm going to come back up, bending the knees and lower down. Right? We all got it? All right. Let's try it again. And lift. Stretch over, picking those hips up as high as you can, and back. One more, just like that. And up, and down. All right, last one, we add on that rotation. We're gonna thread the arm under and then come back before lowering back down. So get yourself in position, arm out. We're gonna come up to our kind of side plank. And now from here, take your arm, thread it under, looking at the floor, pull it back up, look at your hand to the ceiling, and lower back down. 2 more. And up. And thread it through. And up, look at that hand. And down. 1 more. And up. And thread. And up. And down. Awesome. All right. Let's do the other side. All right, from here. So I'm going to start with that little stack again. My elbows underneath my shoulder. My front foot is slightly in front of my back. My hand is on the hips. So we're going to start with just those hip lifts, okay? So putting pressure down through that elbow and forearm. We're going to lift, kind of pressing that pelvis forward, and then sitting back. Keep this shoulder that you're leaning on out of the ear. So don't let it start to hunch up. And back. And up. And sit. 1 more time. And up. And sit. And rest. So I'm going to just extend my legs out that little bit more. Hand is going to come off my hip and I'm going to straighten it out. This time I'm coming up to my side plank. So I'm going to lift. I'm going to stretch over, lifting those hips to the ceiling. And then come back, bending the knees taking my hips back down. And again, stretch up and back to plank and lower one more time and up. Stretch, back to plank and down. All right, last set of 3 are threads. All right, so from here, we lift up, we hold, we thread that arm through, we look at the floor, we pull it back, we look to the ceiling, and we come down. Again, and up, thread, and look to the ceiling, and down. Last one. And all the way up and down. Good job. All right. We are going to come back into the beginning of class position. So we're going to curl ourselves all the way back down to the mat. Then we're just going to lay here and take a breath for a moment. Catch our breath. So let the collarbone open. Relax the shoulders. Feet are hip width. And I want us to think about our neutral spine here. So remember, you should have heaviness right around the tailbone area, but not completely on the tailbone, because that means you're going into an arch. So just feel that natural position of the spine. And you feel almost like you have space in your low back. It just feels light. Then the heaviness comes into the back of the shoulders. And then same thing here at the back of the neck. It's not touching, right? So the back of the neck and the low back are in that natural arch. That's our natural position of our spine. So from here, we're going to start with some bridging. We're going to keep our feet flat, try to feel the whole foot onto the floor. We're going to start with the scoop. Pull the belly in, feel that low back coming towards the mat. And now pick the pelvic bone up as you roll up off that spine. Reach those knees out over those toes. Hold. You should feel some glutes. Take a nice deep breath in. Soften from the shoulders. And roll it back down. Really think of that articulation on the way down. Let's do that again. And scoop. And curl it up. Peel that spine up off that mat. Hold here. Reach those knees over those toes. Feel the heels pulling back towards your sit bones. And curl down. You should feel those hamstrings connect, by the way. Right? As soon as you come up to that bridge, you take those feet on the floor and you kind of pull them towards your sit bones, sending those knees out over those toes. You're going to feel the backs of those legs connect. Let's try that again. And scoop. Curl up. Hold. Pull those heels in towards those sit bones. Reach those knees out over those toes. And curl down. One more time. And up. Pull those heels towards those sit bones. And curl down. And I'm going to widen my hands just a little bit. And I'm going to bring my hands, my fingertips to the floor. So the rest of my arm is actually lifted. And I'm going to come back up into my bridge position. I'm not going to have the feet too far away from me. So I have a little closer connection of heels to my sit bones. And I'm going to go ahead and curl up. Hold here. So from this position, keep that pelvis nice and stable. If fingertips is too challenging for you, go ahead and lower those arms. We're going to go into that march. So we're going to lift one leg up and then lower it right back down. And other leg up and down. Keep the pelvis pressing up towards the ceiling, even as the leg lifts. Don't let that pelvis start to dip back to the floor. Now, lift that first leg up to tabletop, extend it to the ceiling, lower on a straight leg and lift. Keep that pelvis lifted. 3, 2, 1, then lower. all the way down. We're going to do that on the other side. Let's curl up. Hold at the top. Lift that other leg up. Extend it to the ceiling and lower on that straight leg. Keep thinking of pressing that pelvis up to the ceiling. 3, 2, 1, and bend. Lower. All the way down. We're going to go into wide stance, external heels, right? So toes are lifted, ankles are flexed. Back to same position with the arms if you can. And we're going to curl up and down. So we're going to scoop up that belly. We're going to peel it up, coming into that nice bridge. You're going to feel a lot more of your glute connect here and curl back down. And again, up. And curl back down. And let's do one more. And up. And curl back down. And now when we come up on this next one, we're going to hold. So we're going to curl up, find that bridge. Knees are reaching over the toes. I'm on my heels. I'm just going to pivot on my heels as I bring my knees towards each other. And then open them back out. And together. And open. Together. Open. Good. Squeeze those inner legs together. As you bring those legs together, squeeze them together. 3. Keep that pelvis lifted. 2. 1. Legs are open. You're still lifted. Now take the knees and press them apart. So it's press, press, press. Lift that pelvis a little higher. Find those glutes. Out, out, out. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold them out. Curl down. Bring those feet to the floor. Bring those feet together. Bring them in a little closer. And you're going to roll up onto your toes. So from here, my calves want to cramp right away. Okay. Find those toes. Don't make the heels lift too high. And we're going to keep those inner legs pressed together here. And instead of curling up with our spine, we are just going to press our torso straight up to the ceiling. Keeping those heels lifted. You're going to lead with your glutes on the way down. Tap the mat, lift. Squeeze those inner legs. Keep those heels lifted. So I'm still just on my fingertips. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Lift and hold. Roll those heels down. Now lift the toes. Roll the toes down, lift the heels. Keep the pelvis lifted. Down to the heels, lift the toes. Down to the toes, lift the heels. Again, heels and toes. Keep that pelvis up. If you need to support with your hands, take your hands under your glutes. Let's do 3. And 2. And 1. And curl all the way down. Hug those knees into chest. Yay. All right, you guys, we are going on to our weights. So just bring them so that they're close to you. We're going to curl up. So take a nice deep breath in and look at those toes. Curl up. And we are going to start with our weights in a standing position. So we're only going to need one of them for the moment. Let's come up into standing. And this is work we've all done before. So remember, if you're going to be on the mat, it's going to be a little bit more balancey for you. So I'm going to start by just taking my left foot forward, my back foot, I'm on my toe. Okay? And then I'm going to let myself just slightly bend both those knees. And I'm going to hinge my body forward. So my left hand is going to stay on my left thigh. My right arm is just going to hang from my shoulder. And I'm going to turn that weight so it faces behind me. From here, I'm just going to press that arm back. And I'm going to lift it high enough to where I feel that tricep begin to connect. And then I'm going to lower it down and lift it up. And lower and lift. And lower and lift. And up. Up. Now we're going to lift it up. We're going to hold. Lift it high so you can feel that tricep. Open the arm out just far enough, and then press it back towards the middle of your back. Open and press. Open and press. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Keep that arm back there, reach it long. From here, just bend from the elbow and press it back. And bend and press it back. Bend and press. And 3, 2, 1. Hold it back there and just pulse it up. Up, up, up. A little bit more. Keep reaching that arm. Keep those shoulders out of the ears. Eyes are towards the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And stand up. Step forward. Switch.
It had me.
All right. Other side. I'll turn this way so you guys can see my arm. All right. So I'm going to step forward with my right leg now. Left leg is going to be back. So from here, I'm going to lift my heel with my back leg. I'm going to bend both my knees. I'm going to hinge forward. Right hand is going to rest right on top of my right thigh. Arm hangs alongside. Weight faces behind me. And I start with just those legs. And down. Keep that belly lifted from the floor. Keep that arm as straight as you can, like you're reaching it behind you as you lift it up. Eyes are straight ahead at that floor. Don't lift them to the wall. Keep them at the floor. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Hold it back there. Lift it up. Feel that tricep. Open the arm out. Press it back to the middle of your back. And open. Press. Open. Press. Open. Press it back towards that foot a little bit more behind you. Don't put all the weight into your quadricep in the front. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Hold it back there. Reach that arm long. Bend just the elbow. And press. Shoulders down. Belly is lifted. Almost there. 3, 2. We're holding this last one. 1. Hold and pulse it up. Straight arm. Reach it long. Pulse. Use the back of that arm. Keep those shoulders out of the neck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, lower down. Yay. Yeah, that it starts to weight. We have 2 pounds and it starts to feel very heavy, very, very quickly. I think actually, no, let's do this next part. We'll just do this. That'll make everyone feel better. All right. Come down to the mat. Go ahead and sit in a cross-legged position, whatever you're comfortable with. And we're just going to do a little upper back pulse. So we're going to use both those weights and we're going to lift them straight up in front. So from here, we're going to start with that protraction and retraction again with the shoulders, which we did in the beginning of class, but now we have weight. So we're going to reach those shoulders forward as the weights reach forward, and then we're going to pull those shoulders back, squeezing between our shoulder blades, and reach, and pull back, and reach, and pull back. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, 1. And lower those weights down. If you're cross-legged, switch. Right? And then from here, we're going to go into holds with our elbows. So as we think about our weights in front, we want to imagine that they're magnetized. And as we pull the elbows open and bend them, we're putting energy, like the weights are still wanting to be pulled towards each other. We're reaching the elbows behind us as we squeeze that upper back, and then the weights come back and we reach those arms in front. Pull back and reach. The higher you keep your elbows here, the more you're going to get right in between those shoulder blades. I wouldn't want the elbows higher than the shoulders. I don't want them up here. That's neck. Right? But I also don't want them way down here. And 3. And 2. And 1. And lower down. So we're going to do that again. We're just going to add a little rotation. So we're going to take those legs, reach them out in front. And this is again similar to what we did earlier. So we're going to think of a bow and arrow. So arms in front. So from here, I'm going to open my right elbow, and as I open it, I'm going to twist in that direction, like I'm pulling back like an archer, and then I'm going to reach it forward. Other side. And forward. And pull back. And really think about that chest. It's opening. Keeping that chest as open as you can when you twist. 2 more on each side. 1 more. And last one. Woo, lower those weights, reach forward and stretch. Round that back. We're going to go ahead and take that right leg, reach it across that other side. Actually, let's bend it. Let's do our little kind of jaundice stretch. So we'll bend the bottom leg as well. The top leg is over. We've got hold of that top leg. And from here, I'm going to grab onto that leg with the opposite arm. And I'm going to twist towards that leg that is bent on top. And I'm going to push my sit bone down to the floor as I do this. So I really feel that stretch, not only through the body twist, but also maybe a little bit through my glute area. Can you get to it? I got it. And then come back to center. Let's just do that on the other side. So bend that other leg under you, take that other leg across, and just start to settle in as you grab that top knee and settle into the hip. Let that hip come to the floor. I've got my opposite arm wrapped around that knee. And then I'm going to take that other arm behind me. And I'm going to kind of pull that knee towards me. Really feeling that nice deep stretch. One more breath. And bring it forward. And we're going to go into that nice wide open stance. And we're just going to take our hands to our ankles. And we're just going to go ahead and let our head and our spine totally relax here. Don't think of a huge stretch. Just allow your spine to round and bend. We're going to stack that vertebra up. And we're going to finish off one last stretch as we bring the soles of those feet together. Knees are open. We're just going to go ahead and you can grab your feet, your ankles, whatever you like. And I'm going to kind of pull towards me with my ankles as I scoop my belly and round my back. So I'm in this really deep, rounded scoop. Then I'm going to stack it up, pull my shoulders down, keep my spine straight as I just slightly lean forward. And believe me, it doesn't have to go far. It's going to go right into those inner legs. Open those knees as much as you can. Keep pulling those shoulders down. Sit up nice and tall. Straighten those legs out. Shake them out. You guys are done. Thank you very much.